Mr. Rome, I want to follow up what you said about the DNF schools being turned over to the state. RSD in 2012, in its letter grades for the schools that are run by RSD&O, 90% of those schools scored DNF. None of them scored A. And Pierre Capdal, the very first school to go to RSD, is still with RSD. All these years later, it went there officially in 2004. So what do you do with the schools that fail the state? Where do they go? Another state?
No. Well, it's a good question. I mean, the nature of a school going into the RSD means that it was an F prior to it coming to the state.
Except in New Orleans.
Except in New Orleans, in which 75% of the schools that went in the RSD were an F. Today, that number is 25%. So that's not an acceptable number. Okay, that's not an acceptable number. But understand this: we went from 75% of those schools being F to 25%. Now that's progress. Now we've got a tremendous amount of progress to do.
That's not correct, Mr. Long.
That's not correct. We have over 70-80 schools DNF.
I've done research on it.
And you cannot talk about other issues because the criteria changed.
Okay. I'm gonna do the second part of the question if I can.
No problem. But please, if you need to respond, okay, please raise your hand and we'll bring you a mic so that we capture the information for the video. Please? I appreciate that.
Now, the second part of your question was, what do we do with a school that still remains an F after they've been in the RSD? We've made a decision in the last year that in fact we've had a number of those that have been in RSD control for over a 3-year period and remained a low-performing school to our own dissatisfaction. And we are finding different operators for those particular schools.
You do realize you're really disrupting communities by continuing to have failing schools year after year. And you went on record as saying that the charters were held to a high standard. They have 3 years that they can disrupt the community before they're dealt with.
Well, there's been a great deal of success. Look, it's not been 100% successful, okay? No one argues that. But there's been a tremendous amount of success. It's particularly in the RSD in New Orleans. The achievement gap between the races has closed faster in that district than any other district in the state. The amount of achievement on proficiency in that district has grown faster than any other district. So it's not perfect. I'm not here to say that's been done perfectly. But